Have you ever looked at your salary slip and wondered, where on earth did all my money go before it even touched my hands? Imagine working 30 days, putting in your mind, your energy, your very soul into your job, only to wake up and realize that 40% of your income disappeared, not after you spent it recklessly, but before you even saw it. And here's the scary part. Most people don't even realize it's happening. Silent deductions, invisible traps, habits that look harmless but silently chain you to a lifetime of paycheck-to-paycheck living. Today, I'm going to take you through hidden traps that eat your salary alive. But here's the twist. Each one feels normal, socially acceptable, sometimes even smart. Yet by the end of this video, you'll see why breaking free from these traps could be the greatest financial revolution you'll ever experience. Keep watching till the end, because the last point is something even billionaires quietly protect themselves against. And just knowing it could save you thousands of dollars every single year. If success is your goal and you're ready to level up, make sure you subscribe. Every video is crafted to move you closer to the life you deserve. All right, let's get started. Number 1, the illusion of tax comfort. Picture this. You work hard, you're excited about payday, and then the first cut arrives, taxes. Now, most people sigh, shrug, and say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. But here's what almost nobody tells you. The average middle-class worker in the U.S. loses about 24 to 35% of their paycheck in taxes even before it touches their bank account. Globally, in countries like Germany or France, this goes as high as 40 to 45%. People accept it as normal because they never learn the legal ways the wealthiest use to reduce it. You see, the ultra-rich don't just pay lower taxes because of loopholes. They design their money flow differently. They earn through businesses, not jobs. They invest before they consume. While the average person gets taxed first and left with crumbs, the wealthy get to spend first and get taxed later, often on a reduced base. The shift begins when you start learning about pre-tax accounts, employer benefits, legal exemptions, and investment shelters. Every dollar you protect from tax is a dollar that compounds for you instead of vanishing for someone else. That's why every hour you spend learning tax literacy is like buying hours of freedom for your future self. Number 2, death by subscription. Quick question. When was the last time you checked your bank statement and saw charges for something you don't even use anymore? Maybe a streaming service, a gym membership you swore you'd attend, or that free trial you forgot to cancel. Subscriptions are designed to be small, painless. $9 here, $15 there. Individually, they don't feel heavy, but collectively, they drain thousands silently. Psychologists call this the dollar-cost anesthesia effect. Your brain numbs the pain of small repeated charges but panics over a one-time big purchase. So while you think you're living lean, your account is quietly bled dry. Would you leave a leaking tap running in your home if you knew it was doubling your water bill? No. But that's exactly what small, unchecked subscriptions do to your monthly salary. Audit your subscriptions once every 3 months. Cancel ruthlessly. If you're not using it at least twice a week, hit delete. Create what I call a joy per dollar index. Only keep subscriptions that genuinely spark joy and utility. Let me tell you this, canceling subscriptions isn't about sacrifice. It's about reclaiming agency over your flow of money. Number 3, the grab-and-go lifestyle. Lunch deliveries, Uber rides, tiny everyday conveniences that save time but silently eat fortunes. Americans, on average, spend about $1,200 a year on coffee alone. Add in takeouts and ride-sharing, and that figure can balloon to $5,000 or more. Psychologists call this lifestyle creep. You don't notice it because everyone does it. But here's the effect. It doesn't only empty your wallet, it rewires your brain to crave comfort purchases. And when habits encode comfort as default, breaking them feels like breaking identity. So when you justify, it's just $7 for lunch, it's actually $7 multiplied by 260 working days. That's $1,820. Now, factor in compounding that money if invested over 10 years at 8% returns. That's $26,000 lost for sandwiches you don't even remember tasting. Would you exchange a luxury family vacation, a down payment, or peace of mind in retirement for slightly faster lunches? That's the choice you're making when lifestyle creep silently inflates itself into your salary. But here's a truth bomb. Not all traps are active spending. Some are passive, invisible, and literally mathematical enemies to your wealth. The interest monster. Debt doesn't just take your money, it takes your future. If there's one predator eating away at salaries globally, it's interest on consumer debt. The average credit card debt per household is $6,000. And because credit card interest rates dance around 20 to 25%, that means people are losing more to interest than they spend on groceries. Here's the lethal trap. You borrow $1,000. You miss a payment. Suddenly, you're not paying $1,000 back. You're paying $1,000 plus endless future slices of your paycheck for years. So when you swipe that card, the pleasure of now overshadows the pain later, until later arrives like a freight train. Here's the shift. Destroy high-interest debt ruthlessly. Attack it like your house is on fire, because in many ways it is. Every dollar of interest saved is a seed that can bloom into wealth if planted wisely. But speaking of seeds, there's another silent thief. This one doesn't take your money directly, but steals the growth your money was supposed to have. Number 5. The savings account mirage. Many people feel proud when they say, "I keep my money safe in a savings account." But here's the dirty secret. With inflation averaging 3 to 6% annually, and most savings accounts offering less than 1% interest, keeping money safe is actually losing money every year. Albert Einstein allegedly once said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world." This is true in reverse as well. When your money doesn't grow, inflation compounds against you silently. Think about it. $10,000 sitting in savings at 0.5% interest. After 10 years with 3% inflation, its real value is about $7,400. You didn't spend it. You didn't lose it. But the silent erosion of inflation ate your salary anyway. This is why wealthy people almost never rely on savings accounts for serious growth. They diversify. They invest intelligently. They turn time into an ally, not an enemy. But not all traps come from math or banks. Some come straight from our own psychology. Number 6. The social media comparison trap. Let's admit it. You've scrolled on Instagram, seen a friend buy a new car, wear designer clothes, eat at fancy places, and suddenly, your perfectly fine life feels less. Welcome to the silent financial trap of comparison spending. Social media has weaponized envy. A 2022 study found that 48% of millennials overspend to keep up with peers they see online. The most dangerous part? They justify it under, "I deserve a treat," but beneath that statement is a desire to match someone else's highlight reel. But here's the psychological trick. Social media only shows moments. Nobody posts their credit card debt, their sleepless nights, their regret. When you spend to match others, you build castles on sand. In Japan, there's a concept called kuchi sabishi, which means lonely mouth, eating not out of hunger but emotion. Overspending is the same, not driven by need but by comparison-fed emptiness. Ask yourself, am I buying joy or just renting the illusion of belonging? But comparison isn't the only subtle thief. Some traps are tied to tradition, deeply ingrained in how we celebrate, love, and even mourn. Number 7. Celebration debt. Weddings, birthdays, festivals, holidays. Society pressures us to celebrate big. In India, the average wedding costs $15,000 to $20,000. In the US, the average wedding hits $30,000 plus, most financed by, you guessed it, debt. The cultural trap here is equating love with expenses. The bigger the party, the deeper the proof of affection. But what's the hidden price? Years of debt for a night's admiration. The solution is reframing. Create memories, not liabilities. Ask, will people remember the $300 extra on the cake or the quality of relationships I nurtured? Probably the latter. True wealth is measured not by extravagance but by sustainability. And while celebration may drain in waves, there's a quiet, more permanent trap that ensures you never escape financial dependency. Number 8. The skill stagnation penalty. This one's rarely talked about. Every year you don't upgrade your skills, your salary loses invisible dollars. Why? Because while inflation rises, industries evolve, and automation takes jobs, stagnant skills mean stagnant income. LinkedIn's workforce report shows professionals upgrading skills earn 25 to 40% more over their career. Those who don't, they silently watch as peers leap ahead, while their own salary plateaus, eaten alive by rising living costs. This is the ultimate hidden tax, the penalty of not investing in yourself. So ask yourself, am I losing wealth not because I overspend, but because I undergrow? The wealthy don't just invest in assets. They invest in themselves relentlessly, courses, mentors, networks, because the greatest inflation hedge is a skill set that remains in demand. Now take a deep breath and imagine this. You wake up next month and instead of 40% of your salary vanishing before your eyes, it trickles back into your life, habits, and mindsets
stopped
that
unnecessary
signal tax
taxes.
status.
You've
Even
killed
before a
interest
word is
monsters.
spoken. You've cut
Stay with
poisonous
us till the
subscriptions
end,
because the
dodged
last one is so
comparison
rarely
spending,
noticed and built the habit of investing in your skills. I believe in sharing knowledge that transforms lives. If this resonated with you, like the video, share it with someone who needs it and subscribe to continue this journey with me. Now, if you want to know how the top 3% escape the job trap, then watch this video. I'll see you there.